Mr. Beast has said he's built 100 wells across Africa in a video that's racked up millions of views posted on Saturday. He says that the wells can give 500,000 people clean drinking water, with 52 wells in Kenya and the other 48 wells in Zimbabwe, Uganda, Somalia, and Cameroon.
I know it's weird that a YouTuber has to do all this stuff, but someone's got to do it, and if no one else is, we're gonna do it.
With 207 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, his fans from all over the world have applauded him, with tons of comments calling him an inspiration. But some people are worried that the wells could contribute to depleting groundwater and overall have a negative environmental impact. On top of that, others think the video perpetuates the stereotype of Africa as an impoverished continent. Even Mr. Beast himself said he expected to get cancelled for the video, but says he'll always use his platform to help people and inspire others to do the same.
This is the first of 100 wells we're gonna build in this video. Oh, water!
You just witnessed a small village in Kenya get access to unlimited clean drinking water in less than a second.
One down, 99 more wells in Africa to go. You're gonna love this video.
Combined, these 100 wells are going to give around 500,000 people fresh water to drink. And after building some more wells on this side of Kenya, we flew south to the school system of Nairiri. And let's just say, they were really happy to see us.
How's it going? I was not expecting this. Thank you for the welcome. I'm not even sure how to react. I appreciate it, everybody.
This village threw a welcome ceremony upon our arrival, and Nolan got really into it.
Nolan's the most awkward person I've ever met, and that's a lot coming from me.
And after being shown around the school,
here comes our guest.
How's it going? Oh, you having a good day? It's nice meeting you.
One of the teachers showed me where the students currently get their water, which is from this river. That's extremely unsafe to drink.
This is where your students used to get water from?
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yeah. You know, students complaining of diarrhea, infections like typhoid, because this is the water we've been using. So we try to treat, but you see, look at it, you know, but at the end of the day, life has to move on. You have to get some water anyway.
This situation is obviously extremely sad. These children's lives are being limited and sometimes cut short from being forced to drink unsafe water. But at least for this village, we're gonna put an end to it right now.
Yeah, PC. What you think overall? What you think about the video and this whole situation going on with Mr. Beast? And we're gonna dive into the backlash. Just overall, what you think about all of this?
Well, you know, it's a few things that came out right away. First of all, I mean, I see all the anger and vitriol about him doing this as a colonizer, which I can understand because that's the history, right? Colonizers come in and they present themselves as missionaries, helpful, but it's usually the back door something else. And I have rarely seen a situation where Europeans go into Africa and it's for some strictly benevolent cause. Their philanthropy often leads to having access to policies for which they can create some type of austerity for which those people will be indebted to these colonizers, you know, white folk. And we see it with China, we see it with these Europeans and white folk. So that's the first thing off the bat. But you know, and the happy Africans that are there, whether it's Africa, whether it's Africans in America, we seem to love when white folks show up, saving the day. If a playground is built and you see these volunteers, like, here's the thing, right? It's crazy. In West Philadelphia, in Carroll Park, out in 49th and Girard, which is, you know, the bottom of West Philly. We were out there. And well, it's not the bottom, but it's close. So we were out there every Sunday, and I think it was like 2000. I think it might have been 2018, 2019. Every Sunday we were out there, and we, as black men, commandeered the park. We got some cooperation from street capitalists out there to make sure that the park was safe space for the children. And we were out there for about 6 hours, 6 to 7 hours every Sunday. And we didn't get hardly any participation from the community. Their children came out. The members of the community did not come out. We got support from a local barbershop, ESPM barbershop. Shout out to them. They let us use the restroom and so forth. But we had harassed by people. First, we got harassed by one of the block captains around there, several of the block captains in that neighborhood. We got harassed by the park custodians and so forth. One brother identified himself as the mayor of Carroll Park.
Oh yeah,
We
he
got
was elected.
every week we got harassed by somebody. But as soon as Villanova came and took over that park, they didn't receive not one. Villanova University came out and sort of like followed up. They watched us because they were across the park watching us work. They watched, and as soon as we broke camp, and we had to start taking our stuff inside because it got too cold outside. The next spring, before we could say a word, Villanova had already sponsored the park. And so they added sprinklers, they added, little, trinkets, things. They spit shined the park a little bit. And the people loved them for it.
Of course.
We black people have and I go back to something Pat always talk about, epigenetic memory. We have epigenetic memory of seeing these white folks as our saviors. So when they show up, we look at them the same way, and so like as a godsend, because they're the version of God that we've been praying to all this time. And so the irony is, you got a man who is identified as Mr. Beast, right? You look at the Book of Revelation, talk about how the
beast showed up.
Yeah, how the beast will walk the earth, right? And then present himself as the savior, but will in turn be the false prophet. So I think that's fine. I think it's fine. It's funny how that all works out, like the wordplay and all that works out in this particular dynamic.
What your thoughts, Pat? Just overall on the video and the situation, and you on mute. Oh, there you go.
I'm a bit of a mixed bag. So I don't view it like, first off, all of the negative videos that I saw primarily focused on the fact that they hate it because he's white. That's not because even if he was black, I would still be in the same position. The positives is those people have clean drinking water. That's a huge positive. And any negative we hold up to that has to, it has to be pretty huge to counteract the fact that these people now have safe, clean drinking water.
Yeah, how dare he?
And not just drinking water, but because a lot of people are missing out on the fact that there's a whole system in place where it's not just drinking water. They have clean water, period.
Yeah.
So that's pretty huge. I don't think that can be overstated in how huge that is. So the other side of it for me is just a bunch of unknowns. One, were there any systems put in place to maintain the water in the wells? Are there any policies or anything put in place to ensure that these wells not only stay functional, but that the people maintain access to the water? Then we get into because that's all like political and then some structural things, but the structural things for me even go deeper in terms of what happens to various different organizations that are based in Africa that were trying to get things like this done that didn't have the resources and couldn't get it done. Public interest is a very fickle thing, and a lot of fundraisers use public interest to drum up resources. So how does this affect that? You know, so like I got a bunch of like questions and unknowns, which is where I say it's a mixed bag. You know, the clear negative for me is a spinoff of what I said earlier. There are a lot of organizations doing a lot of work in Africa that just don't have the resources to do what Mr. Beast did. Now they're getting shitted on. Some of those organizations might not even really be able to maintain funding to stay operational because people are going to be like, well, what is your use? Mr. Beast just came in and did this. Why do we need you if you can't do it? You know, it without understanding everything that goes into the wells. And then I think the biggest problem for a lot of people, though, is that it makes black people look bad. You know, Lil Wayne he could have did it. I'm just throwing it out there, not to attack Lil Wayne, but I'm saying in America we have plenty of black celebrities and plenty of black millionaires. We even got a couple black billionaires now. None of them did it. They're not even doing it here in America.
They're billionaires in Africa. So.
Right. It's a lot of billionaires in Africa, a lot of millionaires in Africa. So I think the conversation hasn't shifted there yet. If the narrative keeps getting pushed that Mr. Beast is a horrible person, I do believe that's going to like come out eventually.
Yeah,
it's already starting to trickle out right now. But I think that's the real problem people have with it, is that it makes. I'm saying the masses. I know I've heard some arguments where people are making pretty good points about the disagreements they have with it. But most of the videos I see just center around the fact that, you know, this white man and white savior, which there is some validity and some truth to that. But if that's your only beef, well, weigh that up against millions of people now have clean drinking water.
Right. I mean, so some of the questions that you have from information that I've come across, from my understanding, there is a sustainability piece put into this project to make sure that infrastructure is maintained over time. I've watched a number of videos and I've read a number of articles just to get as much information on the situation as a whole and a lot of the backlash that people are having. So, like I said, to reiterate, from my understanding, there's infrastructure piece in place. As far as how it ties into the government and the systems politically around that, I'm not sure. So it's still, I think it's still some pieces that either we may not know or that still may need to be worked out in that between the government and maintaining these structures. So that I do, that I have a little bit of information on. It is important to look at the organizations who were working in Africa, who were working to have wells and maintain wells, who didn't have the funding and everything that they need. Because PC laid the groundwork, right? There's at the core of this, we know why these countries are destabilized. Europeans came in and colonized, destabilized these countries. These countries have been having issues with maintaining themselves for a while. A lot of these places, a lot of these countries, and a lot of places in these countries. And we know the root of that is white supremacy. And we also know things that have compounded on as corrupt government, because people playing ball with white supremacists that have gotten a lot of these places where they don't have the infrastructure that they need. So there is nothing in place in the beginning for a lot of these organizations to really make the type of impact even close to what Mr. Beast has made. And so those organizations, I get those organizations. I get the frustration as a person who does community work, who have done community work for years with little to no resources. I get the frustration. I understand that we've been doing this for so long and we've put out all that we can to help. And this is the best that we could do right now. And then this comes along and we got all these wells and he's getting all this praise and stuff. So I get the frustration in that. But I do think emotionally, you do have to look at the bigger picture, because the ultimate goal isn't for praise. The ultimate goal is to make sure that the people do have clean drinking water and clean access to water. So you do have to look at the bigger picture with that. Looking at an even bigger picture, understanding how we got here. However, is there, I'm just thinking, and I'm just throwing this question out, is there a way for those organizations to form partnerships either with themselves, even with Mr. Beast, to be able to be a part of the maintenance of these structures and helping these people moving forward to be able to form alliances? Because, compensatory code is go to the white people that can get you resources.